we go. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. I believe this is episode 7 of Road to 1,000 Users. I'm documenting my path to 1,000 users on an app that I'm building. Just a quick rehash. The app that I'm building is designed to help Bubble freelancers find, scope, and deliver client work and get paid. Originally, when I set out to do this, I was looking to solve the problem of scope creep. Scope creep, for those of you that don't know, is a problem where developers take on more work than they're really paid for because clients keep asking, like, oh, can we just do this? Can we do this? Can we change this? And if you're working within a fixed budget, that becomes problematic because you're not being paid for that work. So that's what the nature of scope creep. It's like creeping up. It keeps creeping into the point where it's like a problem for you. So I've done away with that with my clients and how we work together. I've gotten pretty good at minimizing that risk for myself. And I'm building this platform or originally I was building this platform to minimize that for other people as well. But what I'm realizing is that is a very narrow problem. It's not really about just that specific problem that people have. That's one symptom of a larger problem of like lack of uniformity in the development community about how things are built. But really the way that I'm thinking about this now is like, I want to solve a set of problems for a particular person, a very specific person. And that person is a freelancer who builds on Bubble, a Bubble freelancer, a Bubble developer like myself. That is really, so all of the problems that person has, whether it's, writing up an estimate, whether it's, scope creep is definitely one of those things, tracking their time, how to clients in the first place. I think that's a big thing that people are, struggle with when they first, that's like a sales role. Not a lot of people, especially not a lot of developers, are trained on that skill set. I certainly wasn't. I had to reach out the wrong way a bunch of times. I was just sending out automated emails in the beginning, and that got me nowhere until I realized the proper way to start a conversation, how to engage with the client on those initial calls, and eventually, or the prospect, and then eventually turn them into a paying customer. But that stuff isn't obvious, and it's not. I think it's a skill. Like, you have to have some interpersonal skills in order to to do that. But it's not easy. It's a skill. It's a skill set to be developed. So all of those things fall under the umbrella of the problem of a Bubble freelancer. Bubble freelancers, or any freelancers in general, it's not just Bubble freelancers, but all freelancers have those set of problems, amongst others. As I've been going through these meetings, I've been uncovering a whole slew of problems that people have. And again, the problem for me as somebody who is developing this platform is like, well, what do I focus on? Everyone's telling me different things. How do I know what to build? So there's definitely, you really have to care about the problem that you're solving. Getting into app development with the mindset of like, oh, I'm just going to build an app because I want to make money, you're going to have a hard time. That's rough, because the development is a slog. Finding users is a slog. And like in the not the off chance, but the it's going to take time. And is that motivator enough to keep you going day in and day out, working at chipping away at this problem, if your main motivator is just like, I want to make $1 million with this app, or $1 billion, whatever, I want to be the next Facebook? Is that really enough? And I think the answer is no. Any project that I've ever started out where I was like, oh, I want to do this to make money, I've not stuck with it, because it really wasn't a problem that I cared about. It was just kind of like, I think this is going to be easy, and it's kind of a money grab. That's the wrong attitude to go in with especially with something like this. I think so. In like what I'm trying to say, I think the why you're building something is just as important as your execution and what you're building. The why. You have to ask yourself, why am I doing this in the first place? I think I've answered that for myself. I really enjoy. It gives me something, some internal intrinsic value to see somebody else succeed. And for me to be the person that helped them succeed. I really like that. I don't know why exactly, but it gives me like motivation to keep going. It energizes me. That's what I think it is. And the work that I'm doing now is I feel like I'm trying to help other freelancers be successful. And that is like a reason, that's the reason that I keep doing this, that I'm waking up at 5 in the morning to like bang out these few features, and just so like it's a little bit easier for them to do things. Or like I am reviewing people's draft emails for free. Like I'm not taking any money from anybody yet. But it gives me, there's something that gives me that's like, it makes me want to keep going. It makes me want to keep building this product around the things that people are asking me to do. And it does look like a service at this point. It's kind of more like a service than it is a product. And like I've said, the extent to which I can productize that service and then charge a recurring monthly fee, or however it looks when I start figuring out the pricing, that's going to be ultimately what determines whether this is successful or not, or when this is successful, I should say. There's definitely a problem here. So I have no doubt that this platform is going to make sense at some point, and it's going to gain traction. I don't really have a doubt about that anymore, because the problem is real. It's my solution that needs work. My approach to this solution is what I'm learning and iterating on. And the more people that I talk to, the closer I get to that goal. So I love this problem. I think that's what I'm trying to get at. I love this problem. I love the idea of have the platform where bubble freelancers in particular can go and kind of be their one-stop shop for everything that they need related to client work. That is a cool problem to solve, and no one else is doing it yet. Not that I know of, anyway. If you are doing it, then reach out to me. I probably want to partner with you. But I want to own this problem. I like this problem. I have this problem, right? So I'm also like, I'm intimately connected with this problem because I have this problem myself. I'm also, a bubble agency, and I do client work. So this was born out of a problem that I had myself, and that I realized is pretty widespread. I did start tracking. This is one thing that I suggest for any bubble developers to do if you're building an MVP. Build the features that you think, or no, don't build the features. So like, how do I explain this? It's almost like if you want to implement video conferencing in your app, but you're not sure if people are going to use it. You're kind of questioning, like, should I spend the time to build out this video conferencing in my app? If you're questioning that, put a little like icon for video conferencing that people can click on. And then when you do that, keep track of that, right? So just like for the user perspective, it could just be like a pop-up that says, hey, vote yes if you want me to build this feature. And then they'll click it. And then you can really get like live in-app feedback about the things that people want to see there. That's been working pretty well for me. I really like that. I tried it out with one of my apps, and it's been super telling, because like I say, it's one thing what people say they're going to do is usually very different from how they behave when they're actually in the application. So this is a way to capture that. It's like, oh, cool, it's got video conferencing. It's not built yet. Whatever. Let me upvote that. And then like whatever feature that they've clicked on that has the highest votes at the end of that week, or whatever time frame that you want to set, that's what you build. Then you don't have to wonder, like, should I focus on video conferencing, or should I focus on my messaging system? Like, which one is the priority here? I don't know. If that's your case, then run those tests. Run a little test to see which one is more important to the user, to the audience that you are trying to reach and trying to solve a problem for. That's been super helpful for me, and I really like that. I really like that I can see exactly what people are clicking on. On the one hand, I don't think being creepy about it either, or like not creepy. Creepy is the wrong word, but like I don't love the fact that like Google tracks everything that I do. But I think in this case, it's what you do with that information that determines like whether it's good for good or evil. Like in this case, I'm trying to just see like what people want so that I can build that. And I feel like that's a responsible way to track what people are doing across the app. If you're building an app, you have to care about this problem and you have to really own it. And it's probably not just going to be one problem. It's probably, you have to care about the people that you're solving the problem for. Like, you have to actually be interested in learning about their problems. Sounds like a psychologist. Like, tell me your problems. But it's true. It's true. You have to care. You have to like be interested in solving a set of problems or making somebody else's life easier. I think that's where the mindset to come in with when you're building something from the ground up. All right, so I picked up another user from last week. So the total of 42 users at the moment. This is where I've been spending this is where I spent most of last week, just making changes based on feedback that I'm getting. It's again very much focusing on the freelancer side of this app, or the agency side of the problem that I'm trying to solve. If you're watching this on YouTube, try and join the Twitch stream. I really want to get a conversation going around app development. I want to learn what you're building, how you're going about getting to your first 1,000 users. I think that's very interesting, and I think everyone's approach is a little bit different. It has to be kind of creative, especially if you're solving a problem that no one has ever gone after before. And that's interesting to me. People's approach to how they get users and how they position themselves, their first 1,000 users to their first 1,000 users, I think is very interesting, because you have to use a lot of the creative part of your brain. It's not the technical building part. That stuff can be learned. It's the creativity around how you're going to reach that audience at all that is fascinating to me. So let's try to have a conversation around this. If you're on the if you're joining the Twitch stream, I want to hear more stories like this. Okay. All right. That's it for me this week. Thanks everybody for who is listening. Thanks for jumping on. I will see you next Friday. I will see you every Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, twitch.tv/bubblehack. All right, catch you next week.